Hey guys, today I'm super excited to dive into spoilers for The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 6. Things are getting insane. There are 9 episodes in this season, and it feels like we are chugging along when it comes to the story that we know from the video game. Now, there is so much that I love about this episode, but before I dive into it, there are going to be spoilers. If you have not watched it on HBO or HBO Max yet, go watch it! But then come back. All right, guys, let's dive into this crazy episode. All right, the episode immediately starts off with showing us Henry's suicide again. Like, we all needed to go through that. Thanks a lot for the trauma. But yeah, so it's like, hey, let's relive this moment. Here we are, all right? So then we know that Joel and Ellie are going towards Wyoming. We get told this is 3 months later, and they are looking, of course, for Tommy. We get to see a man and his wife who are living in the wilderness, obviously doing very well for themselves with hunting and that sort of thing. And it's funny because Joel walks in and does a thing that we see quite a bit of in the video games, a fair amount of, which is like, I asked your wife something, you better tell me the same thing or you both are in trouble. Right? He wants to know where they are. He's on a map. He's just trying to get to Tommy. They do agree on the same place. The man finds out that his wife actually made Ellie and Joel some soup, which he's not happy about. This interaction between these people is so funny. I absolutely loved it. The wife is like, it's cold out. Yeah, I made him soup. Like, and he's like, you didn't shoot him? She's like, the gun's way over there. I don't know. I really, really liked the two of them. I had a lot of fun with them. I thought that was very, very entertaining. But once they say they are looking for his brother, they just say basically, don't go west. Just don't go past this river. There's death there, which Ellie ends up calling the River of Death so lovingly. And they basically say, if your brother is across the river, well, he's gone already. The two leave, Ellie and Joel. Ellie, of course, steals some rabbits, which Joel tells her not to do. Steals a rabbit that the guy had hunted, which I thought was a fun little dig. And then they move along their very merry way. When they get to a river, it's too late, and so Joel's like, hey, we'll set up camp. Well, while they set up camp in this cave and they're talking, Ellie asks, should the cure work? Right? Should the Fireflies actually make a cure from her blood? What would Joel want to do? He could do anything he wants. He says he wants to be a sheep farmer, which comes up multiple times throughout the episode. It's absolutely hilarious, and I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the show. But so he says he wants to be a sheep farmer, and then they get ready to go to sleep. Ellie then decides to take the time to tell Joel that she tried to rub her blood in Sam's bite, but it didn't save him, and hopefully the Fireflies really can make a cure from her blood, to which Joel says, listen, Marlene might not be, the best of people, but she's right, and if she says they can make a cure, then they can definitely make a cure, which I liked that little aspect thrown in there. I think that's going to come into play later, but we'll see. Joel tells Ellie he's going to take both watches, and then he falls asleep. So when he wakes up, Ellie is taking the second watch, which he's kind of freaking out about. He's a little bit nervous about, but he's taught her well, and she knew what she was doing. And they end up crossing the river with no problem. But as they continue on, they get to another river. There's a big, water mill dam thing going on, and Ellie's like, hey, maybe this was the River of Death. And of course that completely jinxes them. And within seconds there are people on horses just surrounding them, separate them, uses a dog to see if the dog can smell that they're infected. They both pass, although everyone was a little bit nervous about Ellie. Well, I should say Joel and Ellie were nervous about Ellie. I was a little nervous about Ellie. But she was fine. She was fine. She passed. Her and the dog play together. Then they ask what they're doing there. And Joel says he's looking for his brother. They ask, what is your name? He says Joel, and they take them to Jackson, which everyone from the video games who played the video games will know. Very exciting. That is where Tommy lives with Maria, who is the woman who found them, which we quickly find out is his pregnant wife, which is very exciting. And so they get kind of a tour of this place where they're, it's basically a commune, right? There's a council that's democratically elected. There's 300 people, including children. There's a school. There's a movie theater. There's a bank that they said they could use as a jail. Not that they have to. They basically really, really have it good there. Maria and Tommy give them a tour of Jackson, and then she takes Ellie to the house across the street from hers and Tommy's, where she says they can stay so that Tommy and Joel can have some time to catch up. This is where Joel kind of tries to get Tommy to help him come with him to bring Ellie to the Fireflies. Now, he doesn't tell Tommy the truth. At first, he tells Tommy that Ellie's the daughter of some fireflies and she's trying to get him there. Says, I'm not just doing this with my heart. There is a reward. Of course, there's payment for this. And Tommy says, I can't, and that's when he tells him, Maria's pregnant. Like, I can't be doing this stuff anymore. And then they kind of fight and Joel's like, well, listen, I'll be out of your hair in the morning. Meanwhile, Maria takes Ellie to the movies, which is very cool. You get to see they're like in a barn with a projector. They're sitting down watching a movie. Again, another scene from the video game, literally ripped from the video game, which was very, very cool. Tommy goes to find Joel, apologizes to him for the way things went down, said he knows it's a little bit triggering. I mean, Joel lost Sarah, so knowing that his brother is going to be a dad just kind of stirs up some memories, right? And that is when Joel confesses the whole truth to Tommy, talks about how Ellie is bit and how she never really got infected. She's got a cure. And he says, listen, you need to be the one to take her because I can't, right? Joel is very worried that he's not going to be able to protect her. He says, he's got this issue with like his heart that's going on, which we saw a little bit earlier in the episode. He walked outside and he was like holding himself. He doesn't know what's going on. He's overcome with fear. Ellie had to save him. Then Henry had to save him. Henry had to save Ellie, I mean. So like he's saying like he's just not there anymore. He's failing over and over and he's weak and he needs Tommy to be the one to take Ellie. So when Joel gets home, she has overheard that and she thinks that Joel is abandoning her. She's very upset. But listen, their fight is very quick-lived, as in the morning when Tommy takes her to the stables for them to head out. Joel is there waiting. He said, I was going to steal a horse and leave, and that was 30 minutes ago, and now I'm sitting here thinking Ellie deserves a choice, even though I think she's better off with Tommy. Ellie immediately chooses Joel, because of course she does. They've bonded for months together, and she kind of sees him as a father figure. So she chooses Joel, and they head out. Now, the reason Joel is so worried is Tommy says, listen, this isn't like an impossible run, but it's about a week's journey south, and there are infected and people, raiders along the way, and it's not going to be easy. So this is what has made Joel a little nervous. He wants to keep Ellie safe, right? He's, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, he really does love her like a daughter at this point. Now we see a quick montage of them heading on their way. He's teaching her to shoot. They're having a lot of fun. He's telling her the rules of football. And they're talking about the time before all of this happened. She's asking, is Jackson like that? Like how it used to be? And he's like, no, the world was way too big for that. And so they're just kind of bonding and talking more. So they get to the university, which is where they are heading. And they're like, hey, we made it in 5 days. And then Ellie's all, easy days. And I'm like, yo, girl, stop jinxing, you guys. What are you thinking, Ellie? Of course, I do know where things are going, so I was a little more frustrated with her as well. They get to the university, and it's very clear almost right away that there are something's not right? There's guard stations without guards. There's the firefly signs, but it's very quiet. One thing that's really cool is in the game, a lot of animals have taken over this space. You see giraffes and monkeys and that sort of thing. And we do see monkeys in the series, and it's very clear that it's Ellie's first time seeing monkeys. I thought that was a lot of fun that they threw that in there. Now, they enter the university and they see that there's a packing list. It's very clear that everyone just kind of took things and left. It was obvious that doctors were there. There's things like beakers and test tubes put out. And then they hear a noise. And so, of course, you're thinking, oh my gosh, is it infected? What's going on? They go into this lab, this abandoned room, and there are monkeys in there just goofing around, so that's fun. And then they see a map, which has a bunch of pins, push pins, from all different locations leading to Salt Lake City, which is where they assume the fireflies have gone. So before they're about to just, kind of make a plan to go to Salt Lake City, and then they hear something outside. Some men are out there, which is a little nerve-wracking, definitely not a good thing. So they decide to head to their horse. Along the way, they do get attacked by a man who Joel ends up snapping his neck, but the man, unfortunately, also stabs Joel. So things are not looking good for Joel. He's hurt. Ellie is able to get Joel on the horse, and she turns around and she is shooting the 3 men that are coming after her as they leave. It's been a little bit of time, not long. Obviously, the men are gone, so it's clear Ellie was able to kill them, which this happens in the video game. You do have to shoot as her, turn around while Joel's all messed up, which I thought was a lot of fun that they included that as well. Like I said, the people who played the video game are going to be so excited going through this series at how much they took from the game, right? It's very, very, very true to the source material with a few changes here and there, like with Bill and Frank. But I digress. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. But the final few moments are heartbreaking because Joel is seriously messed up and he falls off the horse and passes out. And in the last few moments, we see Ellie leaning over him, basically just saying, like, I'm going to be totally screwed if you die. You can't do this, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. And it ends. So this episode I really enjoyed a lot. It was exciting to see Tommy and to see Jackson and to see Maria, but I also felt like that time went by really, really quickly. I would have loved to spend a little bit more time there. We only had an hour episode, and we got the beginning with the couple. We got them traveling a little bit. Then we got Jackson. Then we got them traveling again and going to the university, which was exciting to see the university, and it was exciting to see Jackson. I just felt like it was too crammed, and like we didn't get enough time in each location. That being said, I understand that when you're playing the video game and you're spending a lot of time in there, you're just walking around like shooting clickers and infected and killing them, which this isn't exactly what you're getting with the series. So I understand, but I'm still a little salty. Feel like we spent not enough time in Jackson. So I'm going to give this episode a 4.5 out of 5, which is still fantastic. But I'm just a little salty about that. You guys let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments. Things are heating up. We just have a few episodes left. I mean, we have 3 episodes left of this season. I don't know where things are going. Well, I kind of know where things are going, but I don't know where they're going to draw the line. It's between season 1 and season 2, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. You guys can follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'm MamasGeeky over there. You can also check me out at mamasgeeky.com. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much to all my monetary supporters, my members, and my Patreons. Love you guys.